permissible. It's traditional. Because here was a...
What about rain? Extreme cold or extreme heat?
If extreme is rain or extreme cold and like this, then it's permissible. But if you just want to make excuse, it's
Yeah, valid excuse. I mean a valid excuse.
Yes.
Right. He then says, one who has tayammum and one who is naqisu salah or tahara, one who cannot pray completely, such as a person who can't face the qibla, such as one who cannot make a full wudu, there's only a little bit of water left, such as one who has no dirt for tayammum, such as one who cannot clean najasa from his or her body, such as one who's chained down, he can't stand up on an airplane, on a bus. Anything which would take away from your salah, my aura isn't covered. The person doesn't have clothes to cover his or her aura. Should they delay the prayer? Should they make the prayer and then make it up later? Should they make the prayer and not make it up later? It's all based off of this issue. Can you offer salah without wudu and without tayammum? The author's opinion, Shawkani, he says that they are to pray like anyone else, and they are not to delay the salah. You're in jail, you're on the side of the road, you had a crash, whatever the case may be, you don't have wudu, your clothes are ripped, you can't find the qibla, you can't face the qibla. He says pray instantly. Don't wait, don't delay it. Everybody understand this? This is the author's opinion. There are situations in which a person doesn't have the means to clean his or herself, or face the qibla, or stand up. Phantom, everybody got this? The author, he then says, and the times in which it's disliked to pray, number one, is after the Fajr prayer until sunrise. Number two, is at the time of Zawal, when the sun has not yet begun to decline. Number three is after Asr until sunset. It is permissible to pray during these times, but it is what? Disliked. The person should not offer prayer during these 3 times. What about in the Masjid al-Haram in Mecca? Permissible. Disliked or no longer disliked? No disliked. Right. What about Janazah? Anytime.
Anytime, but I think
Is it still disliked? Can we make Salatul Janazah after Asr? What did you say, Wani?
I heard.
So is it disliked?
Out of necessity, we had to.
Nah, necessity is a whole different issue. We're talking about without necessity.
I think it's best to leave it.
What about the 2 rak'ah for the masjid? Do you sit down or do you make them? These are called what? Or called al-karaha. We're not here to debate, argue. I'm here to stimulate you, to get you in this thought process. And also, for those of us, many of us just don't even know these points. Many of us don't know these points actually, let alone those who have some knowledge, those who don't. Everybody got this? This is how we're going to study this book, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everybody clear on this? I want everybody to empty their cups. Come with a free mind like you're studying fiqh for the very first time. There's going to be assignments, inshallah, and rewards. For those who participate the most, those who get the best answers, and those who do their assignments. Now moving on. The author says the times which it is like to pray are these 3. These 3 times it is disliked to offer prayer, unless it is something which is followed. Right. If you oversleep Nafis, you oversleep for Salat al-Fajr, and you wake up and the sun is rising, what do? Do you wait until the sun has risen, or do you pray as soon as you get up? Only Nafis.
No, I pray.
Pray when?
I pray when I wake up.
Why?
So I miss the time.
Okay, now it's time which is disliked to pray in.
I have obligations.
You have obligations. You missed it already, so you might as well wait until it's finished rising.
I wouldn't.
What you saying, Khawas?
Be voluntary prayer.
I would say what the other say. The other says it's time.
What you say? Abu Bakr.
According to the word of Hadith of Rasul Bukhari, Rasulullah says like this, that if you take like one record before sunrise, so your full salah is done.
So far, all three answers were acceptable. Uncle Faz had the best answer. Abu Bakr gave the answer with the dalil. Nafis gave the answer based off of reason. Uncle Faz gave the answer based off of the dojo. Give me back what I gave you. The author said it's time to pray as soon as you. No, he didn't say that. I sent. Remember. One person wakes up and remembers it. Similar, labas. Hey, inshallah. It's all a part of it. You must be purified. Quality steel has to be burnt and pounded for the impurities to leave. To have a solid forged blade, you need to be burnt and pounded. All those impurities need to be pushed out of you. That's it.
If the person is wake up during sunrise, what do you do?
We say, we're going to stop here. That's the first chapter. 1 second, Chief. The next chapter is al-Bab al-Thani, Bab al-Adhani wal-Iqama. The chapter of the Adhan and the Iqama. Then after that is we'll talk about the conditions of the Salah, how to actually pray, congregation, janazah, etc. This was just what? The first chapter of the Salah. So, before this question, Chief, and before we move on, brothers and sisters, know one thing for sure, is that how we may teach a class is not necessarily how we would answer a question. How we will have a discussion on the issue is not necessarily the same way how we would give an answer. Differences of opinion, different views, proofs, evidences. It's a classroom setting, and then there is it's like, just like you have, I'm teaching you, then we have a sparring session. Do any move you want. Fight. And then we have times when you're learning the moves and learning the techniques. Mimic me, like this. Not like that, do it like this. This is better, it's more advanced. I want you to do it just like this. But when we have a sparring session,
Let me see what you.
Bismillah. Ever got this? Right, khair inshallah. Alright, we're going to stop here. First question. Fadl Sheikh, what's the question?
The question if somebody wake up during sunrise.
The correct opinion with regards to this question. If a person wakes up and the sun is rising, if a person wakes up and it's after or it's time of Zawal, Dhuhr is not in yet, as a person has to make up a prayer after Asr before Maghrib, we say the most valid opinion is that he should pray as soon as he remembers, as the author mentioned and as other ulama have stated. And there are other schools of thought that state that a person should wait until the time of this right prayer is finished. But that's not the correct view. As the Prophet ﷺ said in the authentic hadith, it's collected in Sahih, he said, "Man nama an salatin wa nasiyaha," he who forgets a prayer, he who oversleeps for a prayer, فَلْيُصَلِّهَا إِذَا ذَكَرَهَا لَا كَفَّارَةَ لَهُ إِلَّا ذَلِكَ. Let him pray as soon as he remembers. And there's no expiation for that unless he does that, or in that manner. So therefore, the authentic sunnah is that when you have the ability to pray, whether it's your mental faculties, you're out of jail, whatever it is, offer the salah, no matter where or no matter what. That is the most valid opinion, but there's different views of the ulama. Wallahu a'lam. Next question before we stop. Any other questions before we stop? Any questions from all the steps before we stop? Naam, Sayyid. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Is it haram for Muslims to do what? To make a blade? Like a sword?
Yeah.
Tahir, mashallah. May Allah increase your father. Ameen. Guide him. Ameen. Make him more like you. Tahir, we say that a Muslim is allowed to have any profession that he or she chooses, as long as it doesn't go against the Kitab and the Sunnah. Whether it's a profession, whether it's a hobby, whether it's something that you like to do, it's permissible as long as it doesn't go against what Allah and His Rasul has stated. Selling the flesh of swine, selling wine, selling idols and statues, okay, selling a cross, selling something which is fahisha, something which is haram to listen to, haram to watch, etc. Do whatever you want to do. You're going to be a chef, you're going to be an undertaker, carry around dead bodies, whatever you like, as long as it isn't haram. That's one concept. The next concept is that there are some jobs and some professions that are not only permissible, but recommended. Whereas there are means of helping out Muslims and helping out people. If a person is a swordsmith, a blacksmith, makes blades or spears or anything like this to help the Muslims for jihad, for their protection, for their defense, that's even better. That is even better. And many other professions that people have, working for the janazah, so on and so forth, building masjids, etc. So therefore it's permissible to make a blade, as long as that blade is not used for nothing that's harmful, used for something that's a means of spilling the blood of someone whose blood is sacred. Allah Ahmed.
A woman who's in a situation where there's many men around, or not a safe place for her to pray in privacy. Can she delay her prayer?
Question is, very important question, very commonly asked question. A woman is in a place in which there are many men around. It's not a safe place, or it's not a private place. Can she delay her prayer? We say it all depends. But before we even get to the answer, we must make a clear distinction between safe and private. They are not the same. Very different. Safety is one thing. Someone's going to attack her. Someone's going to do something to her, dishonor her, cause physical harm to her. That's not the same as somewhere that is open in public. No one's going to bother her, but it isn't private. They see her praying. She lifts up her niqab if she's wearing one. She takes off her gloves if she's wearing gloves. She makes sujood, she makes ruku'. People see her bending over in an inappropriate manner. Those are two different concepts. Two totally different concepts. And many Muslim women and men, they jumble and mix up between the two. I've seen it all the time. They say, oh no, don't pray when you go home because you can't make ruku'. And then they say, oh no, it's not safe. Who says it's not safe? You just don't want nobody seeing your wife bending over. But don't say that it's not safe, because there's a difference. There's a big difference. So therefore, I would say it depends on what prayer it is. If there's enough time for her to get home, or get to the masjid, or get to a better or more private place, and delay the salat 30 minutes or even an hour or something like this, God bless. If the prayer is going to go out, then that's a different issue, and we have a different approach if the prayer is going to leave. Everybody understand this? If it's a means of embarrassment, if it's a means of somebody looking at her or something like that, then there's sometimes which the Muslim has to be brave. Has to be courageous, even if she's a woman. So what? Let him stare. Let him say something. You have to do what you have to do. And perhaps that's your jihad. So stand up, stand out as a Muslim, say what you want. I have to make my salah. In public, on the ground, in the airport, in the train station, on a bus, etc. So it all depends. If the prayer is going to go out, that's one thing. If there's time to get to a better place, or masjid, or your home, then that's best. However, we have the concept here, similar to what the author mentioned. Let's say you have two conditions of the prayer. The first condition of the prayer is being in purification, using water for wudu. And the second condition of the prayer is praying on time. On the side of the road, I don't have wudu. I notice a gas station a couple miles up. If I walk to the gas station and get the water, the prayer is going to go out. If I stay here and pray, I can make tayammum. I pray without purification, without physical, the water, wudu. So what should I do? What would you do in that situation I'm in? Make tayammum. Why? Allah says if you don't find water, you have water, it's just far.
Slow's gonna go out.
Slow's gonna go out, but you can't pray without wudu. No, it's one of the two. You can't choose. There's no middle course. You miss the prayer, you get water, or you make tayammum on one spot.
Well, definitely, I mean, I don't have water physically.
Everybody see the problem here? Is that there are two what?
Options.
Two what? Two conditions. Both of them are equally conditions. What makes time more sacred than Sahaba. So what do you put forth? A woman being in an uncomfortable place of privacy or delaying salat and missing a salat. Everybody understand this? Everybody clear on this? So therefore, if there's enough time, obviously that's best. If the time is going to go out, then she should pray in a public place to the best of her ability. Well, one may say, well, can she sit down? Does she have to stand up, bow down, make ruku'? We would say, why is she allowed to sit down? You cannot sit down in Islam unless you don't have the ability to stand up. She can stand up. She's embarrassed and shy. Her honor being in front of men or women or whatever the case may be. Which one do you choose? That goes back to the personal discretion of the sister. The personal what? Discretion of the sister. Some sisters may say you have to pray standing up. And other sisters may say, no, it's permissible for me to pray sitting down, cross my legs, and pray like this squatting down. It can go both ways. It can go both ways. Because we have text that a Muslim woman should cover and screen herself in front of men that are not her mahram. I'm What's important is that which text is stronger? The text about being shy and bashful, or the text about standing up for Allah? And then we'll finish the question and answers after the salah. According to Umar. Jazakallahu khairan. After the salah, Sheikh. No more. La. You must make the event right now and pray. I can't. Umar. He said no. We've submitted to your command, Sheikh. Sam'an wa ta'a. After the salah, inshallah, we'll finish.